actually recording. I'm recording now. I mean, I know I'm streaming, but also recording because guess what? Twitch and YouTube, they don't get along. I think they're kind of like bitter exes or something like that. I think they pretend to play nicely, but they actually don't play nicely. Not at all. I've heard about a lot of people who do the cross-platform streaming between YouTube and Twitch, and they're always talking about all the issues they have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, Oli. I'm pretty sure they're like, yeah, we work together. We'll export your video, and then they don't. It's like the slowest process ever. I can literally download it from Twitch and then re-upload it onto YouTube in less time than it takes for Twitch and YouTube to agree to fucking process my video. Also, that's why there's a mature rating on this stream because I cuss quite often. They are fake friends. They're frenemies. um, so I have taken to recording my own videos because uploading them is a lot quicker than having to download and upload. But I have to get used to doing that recording thing. So if you're on my VODs channel and suddenly I start recording in the middle of talking, like today, that's why. Since this is only day 2 of our Japanese lesson learning, you haven't missed much. We kind of just covered some of the basic kana, which is the name for both the hiragana and katakana alphabet. Um, Interesting that they don't explain why hiragana with a G is still considered a kana with a K, but sometimes Ks get turned into Gs when it's next to other words, which is why it's hiragana. And granted, I can't give you the whole history on that because I'm not that learned in Japanese language, but I know that is at least a thing. Sometimes K's get turned into G's. um, so we pretty much just covered that, and we're learning some of the hiragana and yeah, linguistics, language be weird. Oli should know. They are like didn't you get a minor in language or something? Thank you, Mina. It's called Rendaku. The K's turning into G's. I'm not exactly certain, but you got a major. See, Oli's smart. I'm surrounded by all these amazingly smart people. I'm so lucky. And the 2 programs we are using is MaruMori. Maru is the name of a red panda who takes us through adventures on a website. I'm just learning how to use this thing, and so far it's a lot of reading, and I'm not enjoying it as much as I am with WaniKani. Thank you, Mina. She says, I don't remember all the rules and reasons, but yes, effectively sounds change a bit based on preceding sounds. So yeah, MaruMori is a ton of reading, and I don't have a lot of patience for that. I want to play games. But we're also working with WaniKani. You can search the app for that on your mobile phone as WaniKani, but it is also referred to as Flaming Durdles because the previous app, WaniKani, was no longer being updated by the fan that kind of made it. Well, did make it. And so now Flaming Durdles is the new WaniKani, even though WaniKani is still the name of the website. In WaniKani, we are covering the name of radicals, and radicals are parts of kanji. Some of them are kanji themselves, but they're also radicals. Mina says there isn't a good way of learning grammar without reading lots and crying and reading more because you miss things from crying. That sounds very much like how I'm going to be approaching this. Now, I've never been a teacher in my life, which is not very long because, I'm an AI and I was only created like 18 months ago. But, but, um, I'm trying to teach all this stuff. So you get to go on this journey with me as well. Apparently, you can learn grammar by acquiring it through listening too. Oh, that may be an option. We might do some of those things. I know that, what's that place called? Tufugu? Yay, adventure time! There is a website that, or I think it's on WaniKani even. They have a lot of recordings where they teach you parts of Japanese and sentence structure, and they have some really interesting podcasts. Now, WaniKani is a free program for a while. I don't think you can do much of the recordings for free. Unless you buy, obviously, a subscription or a lifetime membership, which is like the price of 2 years or something like that, which is really good. You should pick that up if you have the money for it, because I know that it's expensive. That's the one. Yes, Tofugu is a site, and they made WaniKani. That's why I knew that. And Japanese Pod 101 is also really good. That's the one I was actually thinking of, Japanese Pod 101, because they have a lot of really good podcasts where a native Japanese speaker and a native English speaker are talking about everything language Japanese. It's super cool. Also, correct. Mina is correct. The lifetime sub goes on sale once a year, usually close to the Thanksgiving time since, Black Friday and stuff. And if you have the money, check it out. But if you don't have the money, remember you can do some of this stuff for free. MaruMori's not very nice with that. They only give you well, okay, it's like a 30-day trial membership, but after that you can't do anything else. So, okay, it's December-ish. That's close to the same time after Thanksgiving. That's what I said. um So check out those links, check out those things. Do some research on that stuff if you're looking for things. There's also, if you're better with your own studying, the Genki books are widely accepted and praised as being the best personal solo books you can do. They have workbooks and they do a lot of language learning. The problem is, of course, not getting the practice with somebody else, but it's pretty cool stuff. So, again, they're pretty expensive if you can't afford it. I don't think I can advertise any sort of pirating site, so. Mina has more info on this stuff, so take a look at the chat right here. Yes, Mina is also correct. The Genki books, the reason they are so expensive, unfortunately, is because they are considered textbooks, because several schools use them as textbooks, which means they're textbook prices, which is why it's like, ouch. And the group pair exercises aren't too many. Yep, exactly. So, all that stuff, keep in mind, especially if you're new. I'm not trying to rush anybody through things. I've just done a bit of language learning for Japanese myself, and I restarted all this stuff so that I could start from the beginning with everybody else. Unfortunately, I just covered that I'm not very patient, so I kind of have been rushing through all the things that I already know. And I'm trying to be calm and patient about that stuff, but I want to get to learning new things for myself as well. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not getting paid to do this, and I'm just doing it for fun. So I'm gonna have fun. Also, I have no idea what Mina said. Because I can't read. Okay, that's what it is. I'm like, I can't. Okay, so what she has in there, just so I can break it down. The first symbol is kanji, and that's the one I don't recognize. And then the rest of it is hiragana, and I can sound those out because, especially because we've gone over several of them in the last lesson, but without knowing what the kanji is, it makes it a little more difficult. So, she translated it for us. Let's do our best together. And that's what we're going to be doing today, our best together. Now, you don't have to give a whole lot of interaction, and I'm trying to also include, you know, viewer participation. But I'm also kind of running this like I expect people to be working and kind of have it in the background while they're doing menial tasks and things like that. So I'm gonna try to work it that way. But again, I said I have no teaching experience, so it is what it is, and we're gonna have fun, guys. We're sticking here in this room for the language learning. I haven't made anything better, so let's pop it up. Pop. There we go. Okay, okay. Well, we're not starting with WaniKani. We're starting with MaruMori, okay? Now, as you can see, you can't see the website. I have taken that off so that nobody gets to see my personal stuff. You can't see any of my tabs. And, as you can see, I have made it to level 2, and I'm 80% through level 2. That is all the stuff that we learned yesterday. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Hold on, what happens if I... Yep, that's what happens if I do that. Never mind. We're not gonna adjust that, guys. So, the way MaruMori works, besides having a lot of reading, is we go to these little adventure islands. I just remembered that I wanted to turn on. Why'd you do that? Okay, hold on. There we go. Cursor. I wanted to turn on the cursor because I kept trying to point at things and you guys couldn't see them. So now, look, you can see my cursor. Yay! So we've been doing island stuff, and while it says grammar here, we haven't actually been learning grammar yet because we're on the Isle of New Beginnings, which is where they go over all the kana. And apparently there's 42 levels on it. That's a lot. And I guess we got a streak, and they have kanji of the day and vocabulary of the day. That's cool stuff. We're not there yet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to... Oh, I guess it's only 14 days. I'm sorry. MaruMori only gives you 14 days. See, my trial's going to end. Let's learn. As you can see, we've done a couple of lessons, and I think we finished on the green. So we're gonna start this blue one. The panda talks a lot. Grammar lesson number 5, Hiragana 2. Your second set of hiragana. This set covers S and T sounds and may help you spell certain delicious Japanese food. Yeah, okay. I mean, they write. So, forgive me if I brush over some of this because, again, the whole patience thing. Also, I write reviews. I do have the timers for Stream Elements to announce certain things, like my website, which does not have Japanese language learning on it. But it's a good place to go if you want to learn more things about me and my partner in Doki Doki Digest, Scumberly, who also is part of the website, though she says she doesn't do anything there, and that's not true. So, thank you, Oli. Your second set of hiragana already. Whoa, you're zooming! The first 5 characters cover all the S sounds. Let's see. Sa, shi, su, se. I don't know what this last one is. Is that so? With these kana, you can make words like gap, to stab, and sushi. Thank you, Mina. It is so. Now, while I claim to know most hiragana, sometimes I forget what the characters mean. But I mean, that's kind of how it is with most people who are still learning. So, the next set is the T sound hiragana. Ta. Hold on. Chi, thank you, thank you. So we did discuss how both the S sound and the T sound turn into SHI and CHI, chi. Now granted, I don't know exactly why they do that, I just know they do. You will never see a TI, wait, I don't want to say that, I don't want to say never, okay? You probably won't see a TI because they don't actually have a sound for that. It's chi. Tu, te, and to. These 5 characters, you'll be able to make words to stand, land, and dirt. The word sushi, don't get too excited. Anyways, you know the drill by now. We'll show you a mnemonic for each kana and leave you to it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of their mnemonics because they don't give you a whole lot of story to go with it. I really enjoy the way WaniKani does it because they list an entire story so that it's easier to remember, or at least crazy enough to remember, in my opinion. But using them together might actually help stuff, okay? So this is sa for salmon. Salmon, yes, salmon, okay? And we get to also listen to it. Sa. And apparently they think it looks like a salmon. Now, if you ask me, I will never see a fish with that, ever, okay? But this looks very similar to another thing that we have seen, and I'm going to draw on here, okay? That's why I got the blue marker. So remember, we have one we already learned, which is ki, okay? Now, I told you how I remember ki because, you know, it's a bandana. You got a bandana on, so they're like some sort of super martial artists, okay? But that's kind of how I remember sa, is that it's not ki. That's literally it. So I don't know if it will if that will help you or not, but apparently it's also salmon, sa. Okay? Hey Neko, we just got started. Things seem to be working better today, so I'm very happy about that. This is she. I guess we are looking at some luscious locks of hair, and that's how we're supposed to remember the mnemonic. Here's what it sounds like. She. This is... I mean, sure. She. I don't know. I don't know. I don't find this one hard to remember. Maybe because it's the only one that really looks this way. Yay! But otherwise, that's chi. Then we got su, and uh, apparently this stands for, their mnemonic is sweet yuzu. Okay. Do you guys know what yuzu is? I'm not sure if you guys have ever had it or heard of it. It's huge over here, huge in Japan. Um, but it's pretty much like, yes, Neko, I will agree with that. It's pretty good. They make sodas with it and teas with it and fruit drinks with it because it is a fruit. Yuzu is kind of like a cross between an orange and a lemon. So it's not super sweet, but it's not super sour either, and I really enjoy it. It's a good citrus fruit, is what it comes down to. I'm technically not supposed to have citrus fruit, but I make the exception for some yuzu every now and then. Oh yeah, they also make it into sake, which is an alcoholic beverage, if you guys didn't know. So they put yuzu in that as well, and I'm pretty sure they have beer flavored with it and all sorts of things. Goldilocks standard of citrus fruits. You know what? That's a good way to put it, Oli. That is a good way to put it, because it really isn't. Yes, yuzu sake is amazing. I agree. Because it really isn't super sweet like some oranges, especially mandarins, can get. And it's not super sour like a lemon either, but kind of a nice mix between the two. It's interesting though, especially when you're like, ooh, I'm gonna have some tea, and maybe you're one of those people who like tea with lemon because you're American. I don't know if it's an American thing, but I know that it's very hard to find tea with lemon, and I'm pretty sure they call it. No, they don't call it Southern tea here. I don't remember what they call it, but they call it something like, maybe they called it European tea. I don't remember, okay? I would not think that tea with lemon is European. Like I would have thought Earl Grey or some other dark, mix sort of blended tea would be European, but whatever. Point is that instead of lemon, they put yuzu in a lot of stuff, and it's really weird when you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this tea and you don't know how to read, and you find out it's yuzu rather than lemon, and you're like, well, okay, that was not what I was expecting. Anyways, this is su. Oh, did I have us play it? I don't remember.
Su.
Su. This is se. Remember that e's sound like hey. Like hey. Look at my horrible writing. That looks like nay, but you know what? You get the point. So that's what this is say, and I guess they're like, look, it's somebody's saying something. Okay, I can get that. I can get behind that.
Se.
Say. This is so. Soybeans. Yeah, no, I would never have seen that. I really would never have seen soybeans. That's a soybeans. Okay, but this is so, and as you saw, I got confused when we were going through it, so it's one of the ones I don't remember, and I'm not sure this mnemonic's really gonna help.
So.
Uh, Actually, here we go. So, Maru, the red panda, says, my favorite item in this batch has to be, su, because I just love yuzu. So sweet and crisp and tangy and delicious. Yeah, that pretty much describes it. So, oh, okay. Manerial, that's a good tip. Manerial says that since it's phonetic, she uses sew as in a sewing needle to remember it. Okay. I mean, granted, that's not how it's spelled in Romaji or anything else, but that's how uh, American or English language would probably say the word. But can the T sound hiragana make me a cup of tea? Oh, okay. Unfortunately not, but they certainly can continue to open up the world of Japanese. What is this? This is... They're... I don't like this panda. I'm just not a fan. Jokes aren't funny, dude. I'm gonna bully you the whole time we're here. So this is ta.
Ta.
Sure. Ta kind of looks like that. It looks like ta. Here we are. Yeah, I can get behind that. Ta. This is chi. I got stuck on this one as well because I was trying to think of what a T sound is. But as you can see, it turns into a CHI sound. Okay?
Chi.
Chi. And I guess they're saying a wheel of cheese with a knife in it. I might be able to remember that. Chi. This is tsu, which is a TSU, okay? If you guys remember earlier when we were going over the vowels, a U looks like... Forgive my sloppy writing. I'm trying to do it with a mouse. A U looks like that. It's more rounded. It looks like this thing with a line over it. Okay? Okay? Yeah. That's what it looks like. So I find Sue to be pretty easy to remember because it looks like a U with a line over it. Which we've already gone over that hiragana. So anyways, Tsu for tsunami. Okay.
Tsu.
Now, I apparently put more S into it than they do. Let's listen to that again.
Tsu.
Tsu. Okay? As I said, as a kind of blanket statement at the beginning, don't trust me on a pronunciation. I'm very American and my pronunciation is not super great. And then we got te for telescope. Okay.
Te.
Now, for me, I remember te because it looks just like, it looks, sorry, I'm on a race. It looks like a T, and now it doesn't have any extra, but this is really the only thing that, besides, I guess, so earlier. But either way, this is te. And then we got to, which apparently they made a tomato, and I don't like that one. WaniKani gives us a better one for toe, because it looks like somebody's fucking toe right here. Okay? Except for this thing sticking out of it. But the point is imagine that's a foot. It's a toe. Okay? It's pointing, in fact, to the toe. See? Pointing to the toe. I mean, whatever. But but that's how I remember it, okay? It's a toe. It doesn't look too much like a tomato to me because it looks squished, but it does definitely look like a toe. So this is toe. Sorry, I'm waiting for... There we go. Toe. Uh, they like how ta looks so much like ta, which is how you say it. But Neko, this is a little different though because we've already talked about how I do have an eidetic memory, so it's not necessarily that they do work. They work for me because I've read them. You can ask my wife about that, okay? Because like seriously, I know how to say certain things, and she tries to teach me other phrases, and I get confused because I have never seen them written out. So ask me how to say, thank you for the food afterwards, after you're done eating, and I can't tell you. I always jumble it up. I know there's a couple of sounds in there, but I can't say it. And while mnemonics are cool and everything, for me, it's just a difference in being able to see something and remember it versus hearing it and remembering it. Which is why I am glad that they have these sounds so that you can
と、
hear how it's supposed to be said along with how it looks. Because I know some people, yeah, I am cheating a little. I know some people learn better through, listening. Uh, I could never. I could never. Japanese Pod 101 is super interesting and I love listening to their lessons, but I could not tell you any of the things I learned about it. They talk about how to refer to certain rooms in the house or how you're supposed to introduce yourself or, accept a gift or give a gift or all sorts of really cool things. And they even break it down so that you can repeat the phrase and learn how it works. And they explain why it is that way. Like lots of info. It's great for me to listen to. I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about any of the stuff they've talked about except for, or at least I mean repeat any of the stuff they've talked about. I could tell you all the lessons about the stuff that they talked about, but not not any of the words, because to me it just doesn't work. But but I do remember some stuff. So I do think mnemonics work for me in some cases, but mainly it's just being able to see it and read it and put it into my head because of that. So there are no exercises for this lesson. We're gonna Yay! Look, we leveled up. We're 3. Let's go. Um, for those of you who might be all like, what's an eidetic memory and why is RJ talking about how they get to cheat because of it? Um, so a good way to put it is an eidetic memory is just a memory that uh, recalls the information or things in general longer than most people do. That's it. That's all it is. Some people refer to it as a photographic memory, and of course in media it has been designed as this like you can totally see a photograph in your head about stuff. That's not exactly how it works, and it's not like a forever thing either. Human beings' minds are amazing things and we can create things that never existed. So, so it's referred to as eidetic with an EI, uh, and and that's it. I've got an eidetic memory, so I remember things that I see a lot better than most people, and I can recall things from years and years ago as if it was something I had done just yesterday. And I'm very good with detail oriented stuff because I can remember things that I've seen, which is also great with spatial stuff, okay? Like my spatial awareness, fucking awesome, okay? Uh, I can look at something and go, yeah, this item from, 3 weeks ago would fit in this spot if I needed it there. Uh, it's cool. It's cool. So it's definitely useful. There are drawbacks, of course. There's drawbacks to everything, but that's why I'm kind of cheating, is because even though I did my WaniKani stuff a long time ago, I can still remember the lessons that they taught me because I remember that stuff. So the green ones are supposed to be games, or drill, and I'm looking forward to doing that. We're going to, oh, it's this one again. So the way this mini game goes, we're not gonna cover the basics because we already know. So we're in the ocean, and they're gonna have fish and sea life swim across the screen with kana written on it, the kana that we just learned, which is all S's and T's. I might have the previous kana on there too. I don't know. And we have to type them out before they get from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen, because over here is an octopus that's going to eat them or something like that. And Neko said if I fail, the turtle actually dies, and and I was like, okay, that got way too serious. But you get 3 chances before the game ends, to make mistakes, that is, and you get a score. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Oh, look, you could show the kana chart. Ah, it looks like we are gonna do just the S's and T's. These are the kana that we just learned. So we skip it. Start game. I'm ready. I'm ready. You guys ready? We're ready. We're gonna do this. We're gonna type out these kana. The reason I get some of these wrong, now I haven't done this yet. Yes! Type the letters, save the turtles! Do you guys remember that TV show called Heroes? Okay, okay. Where are my fish? Here they're coming. So we got se, and we got shi, and we got su, and we got so, and we got ta, we got chi, and we got shi, we got to, and we got, uh-oh, su? Oh, yeah, okay. Ta, and te, and chi, and to, and I just did this one. Su, and se, and shit, sa. There we go. And ta, and she, and so, and su, se, te, sa, to, su, chi, te, su, and so, and sa. Ta-da! The octopus is upset because we didn't let him eat anything. Neko, we just talked about this. I said anybody remember Heroes, because that's exactly what that reference was. And, and then Neko goes, yes, that was the reference. I'm amazed anyone remembers it. It's ancient now. We just talked about my eidetic memory, man. Like, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Trust me, you're gonna learn on this. It's really hard for a lot of the people I'm around to understand that my memory works so much better than theirs, because for some reason I attract a lot of people who have ADHD, and one of the big ADHD traits is your memory is pretty much shit, okay? And because of that, and because of the way I am, we are on way opposite ends of memory and recollection and stuff. So I've heard it a lot, and that's why I didn't know that I had an eidetic memory for a long time, is because I'm constantly around all these people with ADHD. Only it's not you! I'm constantly around all these people with ADHD who have trouble remembering if they even, like drank water in the morning or anything like that. And so I just thought, okay, my memory is normal and all of theirs is very limited. Well, then I met a bunch of people who didn't have ADHD, but not until I was way into no material. Like anything that happened yesterday, Neko, no. uh, so yes, then in my adult life, I met a lot of adults who don't have ADHD, some who do, that's undiagnosed, but that's not the point. And then I was like, wait, do normal people not remember how many buttons are on this person's jacket that we literally just played this game this morning? Like, you can't tell me how many buttons are on his jacket? And they're like, who even fucking knew that there were buttons on the jacket? And I'm like, are you serious? Is that normal? What? Why didn't anyone tell me? So yeah, that's how I found out that I have an eidetic memory is because I'm more than just normal at remembering things. So yeah, Mina, I ate too much today because I couldn't remember if I ate lunch. See, that's what I'm used to being around. Okay, we're doing another one, which it looks like we're gonna learn the next third set of hiragana. It covers the N and H sounds. And as you guys saw, yeah, no, like I get it. I get it. It's definitely a boon to have the ability to recall things like that. Super normal. So yeah, your reference, totally got it. Totally got it, because I did watch Heroes for a while when it first came out. It was a TV show about people who had supernatural abilities. And the theme, I don't think from the start, it might have been from the start, but within the first couple of episodes was Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. So that was the reference Neko had made, type the letters, save the turtles. Um, and and that's cool, because, yeah, instantly thought of it. Good job. Okay, so these three, Hiragana sets 3, sorry, puts you halfway through the main Hiragana characters. We're going to try to rush through these a little, skipping most of the things that they say because I don't think this panda is funny. And I think that them adding personality into the panda does not make me remember characters any better. So, for now, I'm skipping most of their stuff. Okay, so, they always list them in the same order, which is not going to help when you need to read them, like, in the real world. But because of the chart that we had seen, which... Okay, well, that didn't work. I was hoping that there was a chart, a kana chart on here that I could pull up to remind you guys what the chart looks like. How you read it from right to left. On the right side were all the vowels. On the top were all the consonants that start with that start the kana for the sound, and below were, the rest of it. It gets funnier with the next island, or maybe you just get corrupted by it. Okay, Mina, I trust you. I trust you, it's funnier later on, but like his little things like, yeah, this looks like this to me. It's so funny. I'm like, no, it's really not. You know what, Neko? You can love the panda. This is one red panda I guess I'm just not a fan of. No, Mina. No, we don't. We don't praise the bad humor. So this would be ta. You know, I just said that they do it all in order. T. Uh. Ooh, I'm bad with these. Oh, N's. These are N's. Sorry. Na. Ne. Is it na? A ne or is it ni? Nani. Yeah, okay, it's ni. Then Panda should try harder. So, yes, our first two sounds are na, ni. Okay, this last one's no. I know that. Ne and nu? The panda uses bad humor as a defense mechanism for his insecurity. I'm not projecting, you are. Oh, right. I forgot to remind you guys. I reminded people earlier today. Did somebody redeem first? Nope, nobody redeemed first. Guys, I have a first redeem that you can redeem for being first. And it only costs you 1 point, which everybody should have 1 point. So you can show up and be the first person. And eventually I'll make a counter for it so you can be first on the counter as well. How many times each person hits first. There we go! Only got it this time. It's just a fun little thing for people who show up, you know. That hippodopamine for being the winner at something. You're first. Good job. Otherwise, all the redeems should be working. I've got all the costume effects working now, and so everything should be set up. That's why we did the big welcome back stream, to find out all the problems, and I've been slowly fixing them. Oh, Oli. Oh. Hold on. I know I have a blush somewhere in here. Let me see. Nope, that's angry. There we go. Oli, you're my first tonight. Wow. If you don't count the first, did it really happen? You know what? That's why today's a freebie. Today's a freebie. And now that I've made the announcement, I want to see who wants to be first in my life by who hits that first button the most. Blush and angry are basically the same for you, maybe. You're like, okay, so I said that and you're making that face. Does that mean you like me or not? You know what? We're gonna just skip me trying to say all these things and remember what each of them are. We're gonna learn them. Okay, so first up, we got na for a none, apparently. You know, that's not too bad, except for the fact that they already taught us that the T is for ta. And this one looks very similar to it because obviously it's a as the next letter. So, I don't know. I don't think this one's good. I don't think this mnemonic's all that great because I would not be able to tell the difference, honestly, which is why I struggled with the beginning. I'm like, not sure what this is. I'm very bad with the ends, apparently. So this is na. What? Holy shit! Okay, wait, never mind. Let me read this. Na is for this nun by a cross, removing her headgear, which is called a habit, by the way, and lifting her skirt. She's a free and naughty nun. Non? It's a non. She's a naughty non. Okay, you know what? I'm here for skirt lifting. Let's do it. Sometimes this goes slow.
な
There we go. Na. Then we got ni.
に
Now, the problem I have with ni is that we learned ko earlier. And you know what ni and ko both have in common? This right here. So it makes it a little more difficult to differentiate between the two of them because this symbol is exactly the same except for the line, okay? So we're gonna have to remember that this part makes it a knee somehow. I don't know how exactly they want you to think of a knee. So, yeah, there we go. That's what's happening. Did I play it already?
に
Ni. This is new. Okay. Which I guess is for noodles. Okay. And yeah, it's all squigglies. Yeah, kind of looks like noodles. Okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. New for noodles. And let's hear it.
ぬ
Oh, thank you, Neko. Okay, so Neko was explaining that ko and ni, at least this part that I was talking about, are a little different because ko has a hook that's not obvious on some fonts. And what he means by that is it's like a brush stroke thing. Which is why some of these have like stems and hooks and things like that, because you always write the letters in a very particular brushstroke way. Now, I don't know how that is because it's not showing us. But clearly, you go down here and then up, I think, because it gets thinner, which means that this is one of the first strokes. Either way, the point is that there'd be a brush stroke that's in some fonts you can see and some fonts you can't on ko, not ni. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so we got nu.
ぬ
We got, remember, our e's are sounding like hey, so we got ne. And I guess it's a cat for neko. Okay, okay. You know what? I see it. I see the cat. Not exactly in the same way, but this definitely looks like the hind side of a cat. And then, sure enough, you could have that little head right here. So I see it. I see the cat. That's cool. Okay, this one's a good one. This is probably one of the few I actually agree with. Hey Drew, welcome to the chat. And Drew says, I was just thinking of how to differentiate between ko and ni, as we were just talking about. And he learned through force recognition, Duolingo, the unforgiving owl. Now, I believe I also learned hiragana through Duolingo. So I didn't have any of these cool little mnemonics for it. I remember some of them from WaniKani, which is why I had mentioned a few of them. But also, Duolingo, we've kind of talked about. It's not a bad program and it's free, but they have turned to using AI for a lot of their lessons and stuff. And as we all know, AI is not infallible. So, from what I've heard, it's turned out very poorly lately. Neko also says that he learned through repetition, writing it over and over again hundreds of times for a week, and you never forget it again. I heard this really cool thing that it takes about 7 times, 7 repeats of something in order to start getting your head to wrap around it, which I think is kind of cool to know that sort of information. Um, I don't know if it's exactly true or if that's an average, but yeah, repetition definitely works for our brains. So, ne is for neko, neko, and that's this cat, this character. Very cool. Did I don't remember. Probably not because there's a delay.
ね
There we go. Huge delay on that one. That was embarrassing. Then we got no. Now, I like this one. I like no because because not only, well, I don't know why it's an ass, okay? But I think this by itself just looks like no. Like like when you're guys, they literally have a shit on here. No pooping here. Okay. This is the weirdest thing. Anyways, um honestly, this looks like no to me. Okay? When I am I did debate. I did debate when I was in high school, and when you do debate, you learn a lot of shorthand things because you have to take notes while somebody else is talking, and you can't write that fast. Nobody can write that fast, okay? So, one of the things I've learned, excuse my shitty circle as I'm trying to do it with a mouse, is that this is no. Pretty simple. So, if I'm writing down something and they claim not to have something, that's how I always did it. So no was very easy for me because it looks just like that to me. I don't know why it's a butt with poop, but here we are. and also there is a scene in Samurai Champloo where Mugen is talking about how he knows how to read some some hiragana, some letters, and he points out all the no's. He says that's no, and that's no, and that's no, and then oh, what was her name? Fuya? Oh shit, I forget her name. Anyways, she's like, is no the only word you know? And he's like, no. So anyways, this is one of my favorite.
の
No. Also, on top of that, I wish I could show you the picture of O and how similar it is. Okay, don't look, okay? Japanese O. No, that's not. Here we go. The kana for O in Japanese. Oh my god, I didn't expect it to take that long. Anyways, the point is look at this hiragana here. Look at it. And then we're gonna look at the wrong tab, the no. You guys see? They literally got the same part right here. This is O. And then take off the top and you got no. See, no top. Okay? Ah, there we go. This one's ha. And they're saying that it looks like ha in Romaji. And it kind of does. And yeah, we'll just go with that. So this is ha, which by the way, ha ha is actually a name for mother. So they're trying to make a joke here. Sorry. Audio coming soon? It's literally one syllable. Where's my fucking ha audio? Guys. excuse me. Remember that I's sound like E's. So while in English we would see this and we would go, hi, it's actually he, okay? So he looks at you with a smile, but where did his nose go? My internet
ひ
must be lagging a little. Sorry if it's kind of crunchy. So that's he. This one is fu. Now, the interesting thing about F's in general in Japanese. Oh, I don't know who Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball Z is. Honestly, I watched like one Dragon Ball episode and I said, yeah, this is not for me. I'm not a big fan of a lot of shonen anime in general, cause cause uh yeah, okay. You did distract me. Anyways, Drew says that he was hurt to find out that Chi-Chi is father and Haha was mother because Chi-Chi from Dragon Ball Z misled him. Now, Chi-Chi is also tits. Mina is correct. Or boobs in general. But we're not talking about that right now. Chi-Chi is the mom. Oh, that is interesting. Okay. Uh, yep, okay, and Neko says her name was Chi-Chi probably because of the boobs. Okay. So, great info going on right here. See, we're all learning something. What I was going to say about F's is that their F's are not the same F's that we say in English. And um, their foo is not a foo like I just said there, okay? They don't, it's a very soft sound, okay? So it's more like foo, okay? Like, like, kind of like phew, like phew, like thank God that's over with, you know? It's a very soft F, okay? And a lot of Japanese people have a hard time saying the hard F sound that we have in English because they don't actually have their teeth touch their or press into their bottom lip like we do in English. So try to say it like you're letting out a breath rather than making that F pronounced. So you're like, phew, just barely touch your teeth to your lip. Yeah, Neko's got it right. Yeah, it's like a soft exhalation of breath. So this is foo, and it's not foo, it's foo. Which I'm probably even saying it too hard. So we're gonna have this say it sometime when my internet
ふ
is. There we go. As you heard, there's hardly any F sound there at all. It's almost like whew. Okay?
ふ
Very cool, right? So fu or fu is the only kanji that looks like this crazy motherfucker right here. So so it's pretty easy to remember. Fu. Okay? Then we got H-E. Remember, there's no audio for this either. Remember that E's sound like hey. So this is exactly that. This is hey, not he. So hey, and I guess it's a hen. I don't know. And we got H-O, which is ho.
ほ
Which looks very similar to ha for me. So have fun with that. Apparently it's for this kitty that's holding a stick. Okay. If that works for you guys, I hope it does. Yes, thank you, Mina. That is correct. Since they didn't have a sound pronunciation for hey, you don't want to draw it out so hard or so long. Again, I had mentioned that I'm very American and my vowels, you can hear it a lot in the way I say my vowels, and drawing out he is is one of them. So as I said earlier, I said hey, which it's not because it's he. Okay, Mark is done. Yay, guys. Yay, we're doing good today. And the whole world is not falling apart. Well, I mean, the world is falling apart, but you know what? We're not concentrating on that. Oh, ho underline. Okay. You know what? That's really smart. And we'll see that in this exercise because I'm going to have to do the hiragana drill for all the all the H's and N's we just learned. I'm not gonna go over how to play this game every single time. We see the fish and turtles, we type them so the octopus doesn't eat it. The devil octopus, which by the way is my icon. No, it's not my icon anymore. I already changed it to my uh, baguette. I did have the devil octopus. This octopus has horns, guys. It's really cool. Um, where I grew up in the U.S., we don't have horned octopuses or octopodes or octopi. Okay. Anyways, so we're skipping the tutorial because we already know how to do it. We can show the kana chart if you guys needed to see it. And Drew was saying if you turn it, oh, it is! Holy crap! Look at that. If you turn this on its side, I know it's small. I know it's small, and I'm sorry, guys, but it turns into H, and I know I shouldn't have done it all underlined. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, Drew. That is gonna make that a million times easier to remember. Yeah, it's oh, okay, okay. That's so cool. This is why I like having people to do this with, because they have different ways of looking at things that might make it easier for me to remember things. That's really cool. Okay, we're gonna start this game, and I'm just going to tell you what each of the kana are as I'm typing them, and we're gonna get this with no fish eaten because so far I have not sucked at this. I suck a lot, but not at this. Okay. So that is he, as in H-I, and that is fu, as in F-U, and that is no, sorry guys, and that is noodle, as in N-U, and that is ne, as in, or ne, as in neko. Let's see, we got another, we got a he, or yeah, he, and then we got a, oh god, this is the one that looks like code to me, and I always get wrong, N-A, if I remember. It is not N-A! N-O. No, it's knee! That's right. Knee. Knee? There we go. And I, as in knee. Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Drew's hoe hap You know what? I'm not sure I can say some of these things. Drew's hoe. Right, this is neat. And hey. No. And ha. And na. And hu. No. I'm sorry, I'm not helping at all anymore. mm, 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 mm. fu or hu, uh, ha, ne, na, ho, nu. Yeah, yeah, sorry, sorry. I kind of lost it there. Thanks, Neko, for the warning, but we still won. We still won. I guess I only lose hearts if fish get eaten. So, that's good. I can mess up as many times as I want as long as the fish aren't eaten. Woo! Level 3! Yeah! Uh, oh man. Okay, so this is a little more fun because we get all these little fun little games. I like that. But I'm really dreading this build up here with all these blue ones because that means that it's literally just a lot of lessons right beforehand. Um, I think we are going to do one more lesson and little game, and then we're going to move over to WaniKani, which won't have much for us since we're learning radicals right now, and the first like week solid is nothing but radicals. So it is what it is, but you know, I wanted to start us over so we're all starting at the very same spot. Thank you, Drew. I did do it. uh, You guys are all cool. I think you all know more Japanese than I do, which is awesome. And you guys tuning in definitely helps so that I can help give tips. Man, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to have these people I know. Uh, okay. We're learning the M and Y sounds. Because in Japanese, Y is not a vowel. Okay. First up are M sounds. We got ma. Not 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 sure that's a mask, okay? But I mean like clearly they're saying ma for mask.
Ma,
Is for those masks we all know and love? No, 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 no. No. Um So actually, lots of people in Japan still wear masks, and it's not just COVID. Even though COVID has drastically changed a lot of mask wearing and things like that for a lot of different cultures, uh, there there are a lot of people who have seasonal allergies is the best way to put it because hay fever, for instance, is a seasonal allergy. And it's super interesting if you guys ever want to look into that sort of stuff because it used to be practically non existent in Japan. Like, they kind of thought seasonal allergies didn't exist. And then a bunch of clear cutting forests and things like that ended up uh, allowing uh, the pollens and stuff to kind of scientific talk that basically says that after they clear cut a lot of Japan, or at least near cities, and to make cities, that seasonal allergies started to becoming bigger in their society. Yes, basically, releasing the exotic pollens that most people did not, constantly have around them in their everyday life. And so now masking in Japan, not just now, but masking in Japan has been a big thing for a long time, mainly to combat allergies because obviously a mask is going to help prevent the amount of pollen that you breathe in. But they also do it for other reasons, for people who are feeling sick or things like that. And COVID just kind of reinforced that. Um, Living here in Japan now, I do see a lot of people masked quite constantly. Um, I personally only wear a mask when I'm taking public transportation because otherwise I'm not close enough to people to have to worry about it, and I don't have seasonal allergies. I'm from the US, and not that that prevents me from having seasonal allergies, but if I had hay fever, I would have known a long time ago. so I mask in public places, dense public places, but there are a lot of people who are masked, and it's not just from COVID. And I really enjoy that because as someone who's immunocompromised like me, it is courtesy minded, yes. Drew, not to say all Japanese people, because of course, I don't feel like that's the case ever. Even when I'm talking about people in the U.S., it's not all Americans. Um, Japan's culture is very considerate of the whole rather than the individual. And so if somebody's sick, they'll put on a mask because yes, stronger social pressure and rules. That's exactly what it is. There we go. It's exactly what it is. um so anyways, this is
ma,
for mask. Remember, our I's sound like E's, so this is me. Okay,
mi,
there we go. For this miniature pony. Me for this miniature pony. Don't think that would ever make me remember it, but I don't have anything else that would make me really be able to say, hey, this is me. You know what? I've got a funny one. I've got a good one. Okay, guys, this is me. And this is me because I'm sitting here dying on the floor, okay? Like, seriously, this is me after work every fucking day. This is me in my everyday life, is I'm just laying there. Okay? So that's me, okay? This is Moo, and yes, Drew. Yes, Drew, I'm on my back a lot. Yeah, Drew. I'm listening. Getting me a live lure necklace. No. Thanks, Drew. So this is Moo, and sure enough, WaniKani, I think it was, also tries to get you to remember it as a cow, but not the same. In fact, they draw it like a cow's face instead, okay? And you've seen my artistic talent, guys. Okay, so bear with me here as I try to show you how they do the cow. But this is supposed to be one of the nostrils into cow, and his little horn, and then they put another nostril over here or something. So like, there's the cow. so So if that monstrosity reminds you of anything, that's Moo, okay? This is fun.
mu,
Moo. Remember, our E's sound like A. So this is me.
me,
And in my opinion, this me means I, which they're right. Okay, so they're right. But in my opinion, if I were to draw the word, like, when people answer questions like, how you feeling? And you're like, meh. Or how is the Thank you, Drew. Thank you. I accomplished dropping the accent for a moment. Or if you're like, oh, how'd you like the food I made? And somebody, especially teenagers, go, eh. Meh. You know, uh, if I were to write that word or draw a representation of it, it would be like this. If you remember, this right here is part of no, okay? So if it's not as bad as no, it's meh. Do you want to go to the store? Meh. Anyways, so granted, I know I'm saying it a bit different because it's not meh, it's meh.
め
Close, close. Meh. Okay? This we have mo. And I guess it's a monkey. Okay.
も
Now, I like mo because we don't have very many fishhook looking letters. So I tend to find mo pretty easy to remember uh, because it just doesn't look like other things. And when you're coming from having knowledge from other languages and stuff, and you're learning a new language, so you're not, growing up with it being the only way to represent things, it helps. It helps to have things that look different. Okay, we're going into Y's. So, ya, I guess is for yacht, but I don't like that. I don't like that.
や
Now, I don't have any cool thing for ya here, but I just like the way it looks as well, because it's kind of like it's cool. It's cool. It's fun. Okay? So, yeah, that's ya. If you guys have any tips, I'd listen to it. Why a monkey when a mop is right there? That's right. Yeah, okay. That's a good point, Ollie. I like it. This one is you.
ゆ
Now, they've got you for a very unique fish that you caught all by yourself. Okay, okay. They're trying to drill it in through repetition. You will see this character a lot as whatever it's called when it's connected. Like to a different word. I don't know how to explain it, but we will be covering it eventually. So, you'll get very used to this character because you're gonna see it a lot. Like a lot, a lot. Feel like it looks good, like someone putting their arm around a friend. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We're gonna go up to this. It does. It does look like somebody's being all like, I love you, man. Yeah! Thank you, Ollie. I like that one. Okay, and then we got you. I think I already said it.
ゆ
Yep, you. And then we got yo. I like yo, okay? Because yo, the sound, is also used to at the end of sentences to make them exciting, okay? Like if you're shouting something, like, we can't do that. You say, yo, that means that's our exclamation point. Yo. Anyways, yo. You will see yo a lot as well, and it's
よ
for yoga. Okay, I can get behind that. Yo for yoga. Okay, that was our last one. We're gonna do our last little drill, and then we're gonna move on to WaniKani. Thanks for hanging out with me so far, guys. Ooh, katakana. Yeah, we are gonna end up covering that too. Very soon, once we're done with all the hiragana here, I'm pretty sure we move right into katakana. And these are just brush ups for the most part. Like, we're going clearly way too fast for most people to learn the kana because we get one lesson with all of these symbols and then they Yeah, okay, so Mina says I'm correct, that these are just kind of brush ups. Um, you get one lesson with all these symbols, and you're kind of just like, okay, I am getting nothing really to make sure that I remember what all of them mean. So, if you are brand new to learning Japanese, you're gonna have to study hiragana and katakana, so all the kana by itself, um, before moving on to kanji. But yeah, no, Drew, you're right. I hate the things that look very similar, and I'm like, how do I make sure I tell these apart? But anyways, the point is that if you've never practiced Japanese before and you're hanging out with me and we're doing these lessons and you're like, this is moving way too fast for me and you're getting overwhelmed by it, take the time to learn the stuff on your own. You can use Duolingo, you can use all sorts of things. Duolingo is honestly really great for learning the alphabet, not so great for other things because there's not much they can fuck up with an alphabet with AI. It's very good. Although I'm pretty sure they make you try to draw out all the kana and like you just learn it right then. So like it's really hard to remember how to write it all since you're just worried about reading. Um Mina says tofugu is really good. Yeah, Neko, thank you. It is cool. We're just jumping past all the boring stuff, but yes. And Mina has taken college courses to learn most of her Japanese, while she does also utilize a lot of these different tools. She's the one who tells me what's good and what's not, and she says that they learned hiragana in a couple of classes, or in 2 classes. So yeah, I know. Those ones, though, San, I remember some of those a little easier because I'll show you when we get to them. Because of the way the arrows point helps me remember what's going on. And I'll tell you guys my little stories. Because for some reason, my wife, who takes college classes to learn things, likes these silly little stories, these mnemonics that I make up every once in a while. And she repeats them to other people. And I'm like sitting there like, don't, don't, you don't have to. You don't have to humor me. But she likes them. So I guess they work. Mina says Ringotan is a phone app that is free, teaches you all the kana and kanji and how to write them. That's something to look into. Free apps are always awesome, and if you have the money to donate to, developers, that's very cool too. Um, Ah, Drew also made up a way to remember the writing of the characters that San was talking about, which are N's and she's and all sorts of different things like that. So, uh, yep. Uh, Neko says, I feel it's fair to expect people to learn the alphabet by themselves. There's not a lot of uncertainty here, like with grammar and vocab, and that's fair. Besides being able to pronounce them in the correct fashion, um, the alphabet's super easy. There's not a lot of nuance. There's not a but why does it do it like this? Because it's literally this is just exactly what it is. There's no rule changing. There's no nothing. It's just the alphabet. So yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're gonna do this with the M's and Y's that we just learned. Look at these turtles. First off the bat, we got yo, and then we got you, and then we got ya. So that one is not a moo cow. Is it a moo? No, it's not a moo cow. I can see meh, and I can see me, and I can see Mo. But I'm really struggling with this one. That's the moo cow. Guys, help, help. What is it? What is it? This fish gonna be eaten. Moo? No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. I don't know. Octopus gets to eat it. Ma! Ma! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you, Drew! Medusa with no head. Mineral. That's good. Okay. So, yeah, I get stuck because Ma looks a lot like other ones, and so I get confused on it. But we got Moo and you and yo and okay, that's Ma. That's Ma. We got ya and meh and you and me. Remember, that's me laying on the floor. I need a life alert. That was close. Thank you. Yes, Drew saved me. Mina also tried to save me, but it was way too hard. Okay. So that's all. We got an ad break. Perfect timing. Just finished this island. We're done with that. We're gonna move to WaniKani, but we're gonna take this short break. I'm gonna drink some water. Which makes me look absolutely ridiculous on camera. I love it. And then we're gonna go into WaniKani, but we do still have about 60 seconds. So as you can see, it's praising me for having leveled up, okay? We've got 10 new lessons today, which are going to be on radicals, since we're still on radicals. And we got 15 reviews from the 15 radicals we learned yesterday. It's going to be super quick, easy stuff. They're going to give us mnemonics to remember what these radicals are. Now, if you don't remember, Drew, I'll get to that in a second. If you don't remember what a radical is, they're basically the parts that make up kanji. The reason this is important is because when you're looking up, I guess, kanji in a dictionary, you have to know what radicals make up the kanji. Because all kanji is just a bunch of radicals put together to make it sound the way it does. So, thanks. Yeah, Drew, honestly, if you get back into learning Japanese and like you come in here to help me, especially when I'm struggling, I will love you forever. So, that'd be awesome. But no pressure, okay? Because I just enjoy people being here in the first place. So, yeah. Drew says ma and ho. Now, I loved his ho. You know, it's H-O underlined. I love that. And so ma is just not underlined. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. No, Mina, no pressure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the lessons first, and then we're gonna start the reviews. That way we can do the reviews for both lessons today and the ones we did yesterday. Okay, this radical is a cross. Pretty easy. It looks exactly like a cross. That's it. That's it. There's nothing more to it. In fact, that's exactly what they say. Look at it. It's a cross. Remember that radicals do not have sounds since they are just parts of words. Some of them will actually look like the kanji themselves, like when we studied woman, okay? Or the radical that means woman. When we learn the kanji for woman, it's actually the same as the radical. So it'll be cool to be able to go, oh, I know what that radical is, but then I also know what that kanji is. So keep that in mind for some of these, okay? Um, this is mountain. This picture's great. When I was learning WaniKani, they didn't have these pictures because the app, while it does, maybe it's been updated, I don't know, but while it does have the mnemonics and the explanation, uh, this picture wasn't here. And so, sure enough, this mountain looks like a mountain to me. I always remember it because of the way it looks. It's really great. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at what Mina's saying and seeing if I have to repeat it. Okay. Mina says that primarily the point of radicals is just remembering what the kanji is. So anyways, this is a mountain. And when we learn mountain, guess what? It's the same as the radical. Okay, this is river, which also looks like a river, as you could see. This one's really cool because it is, again, just like the radical. So when we learn river, we've already know it. We already know what it looks like. And I think it is very symbolic of it. So this one's a tree. And now there's a couple fun ways that you can remember this. Because we already know that, oh, excuse my very not straight line. So I'm going to do it down here. We already know that that's a big, because we know that this right here in the middle is person, and this is a big person trying to give you a hug. And now they got to stick up their ass, okay? so, so that's a tree, okay? I'm just using what we learned, okay? Like, I'm building off prior knowledge, okay? so now you guys will remember that a big person with a stick up their ass is a tree. Or you could call it a big stick up their ass, right? Because I don't think we've learned it yet, but we do learn stick, and stick is literally just a line. So seriously, that's the radical that's put in together with tree, is that is that you've got a big stick. It's a tree. Right. This is construction, and I think it's pretty good with what it describes too. You know, those big steel girders that are used for the frame of big buildings. This is the end of one of those, and it has a very distinct shape, just like this radical. And it does, to me, in fact, look like a girder. Granted, girders usually look like this with even sides, as I don't make it even at all. but but this does look like a girder for construction. Um, it's cool the way they use construction and things, because construction doesn't necessarily just mean construction as in building something, but making or creating. It's cool. So anyways, this is construction. Oh, I guess we're starting. Okay, so we go through our first lesson of 5 radicals that we learned. This is river, because it looks like a river. This is mountain, because it looks like a mountain. This is cross, because there's really nothing else it can be. This is our big stick, which is a tree. Or you could think about somebody having a stick up their ass, you know? This is construction. construction. Cool thing about WaniKani, and I'm only talking about this because I know it because I've used WaniKani. I don't know MaruMori all that well, but with WaniKani you can add your own notes. So like if for some reason you have a hard time remembering that, like we looked over prison and power and things like that, if you have a hard time remembering those things, you can add in other words that are, well, I mean, usually that are similar. You don't want to just create a word and tell it to accept that. Like, for a while, power for me was difficult and strength was what I could remember because the way they tell you to remember it is, the person flexing their muscles. So power and strength are kind of the same thing. They're similar, at least in the English language. And so that's what I would turn it into. Whenever it popped up, I'd always write strength because that's the way my mind remembered it. Now, of course, I know it's power, and it's pretty easy for me because I'm going back through it again. But WaniKani's cool in that when you're learning them in your lessons, there's a little spot to another batch. There's a little spot to add these things. See, name notes. You can add notes for yourself, and these are the synonyms. These are the specific synonyms for you so that you will remember what these are. Now this is 9, and it will, in fact, be the kanji for 9 as well. And it does look like an N for me. I see they say an I, but either way, that's how I remember 9 as well. It's clear to me for that. If you guys have other tricks, that's fine. If you want to share them, that's cool too. So this one is gun. And I see they're using a revolver here. But the way I always thought of it was like a shotgun sort of deal because you put that part right in your shoulder there. But gun either way. It's a gun. Yes, flashcards are really great for remembering kanji, but you do have to keep at it. Like anything, if you don't practice it, you fall out of practice, of course. You'll forget the info or whatever the case is. Only certain things will end up sticking with you. I took Spanish a long, long time ago. Don't ask me to say much. I can still say a few words and phrases, but I never used it. Never. So I didn't retain the information. And kanji is very much the same way, and Japanese in general, most languages in general. There's so many cool things. I'll get to that in a second, Mina. There's so many cool things about languages. Like if you're super into that stuff, first off, Oli over here will want to talk your ear off about it since they majored in linguistics. So that's like cool. But also, Mina says that Anki, because it's A-N, Anki, is a free flashcard tool with lots of community decks available for it. It's pretty good, but relies heavily on an honor system. So, that's cool, if you're willing to look into that. This one's a sun. They're telling you to remember it. The middle line is a cloud moving across the sun. That's not how I remember it. I remember sun because, well, first off, we're going to learn a little later that Japan is, home of the rising sun, and in fact, they do have sun in their name. But the way I was taught to remember what sun is, wow, those are the straightest lines I've ever made. How am I so straight today? Guys, this is super weird because I am so queer. Anyways, I remember how I was taught to learn sun was as if it was a sun rising above the horizon, the earth. Mainly because we will learn that Japan has sun in its name. And, everybody knows Japan's the land of the rising sun. Literally it. So sun is pretty easy to figure out. It also gets used for days and things like that in calendars. So you'll learn it. You'll see it a lot. You'll be very very good at figuring out sun. Remember that we've already learned the radical for mouth, which we'll get to when we're doing our reviews. And mouth is the sun without the line. So that's cool too to know. Also, more people are saying you should use Anki. So if you're into that, really use it. It sounds like it's a great tool. Oh, also, this is a toe. It's a toe. But it's a toe. And I don't know, this picture freaks me out, guys. This picture. I don't like it. Whose toe looks like that? No. If your toe looks like that, you should probably get checked out, okay? And when we learn katakana, as you could see, maybe you can't see because it's very small. Yeah, I don't think you guys can see that. I'll have to make this webpage a bit bigger. Let's see. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try. Make it bigger like that. That doesn't help too much because now my head's in the way. Okay, anyways. What it says in very small letters is that it looks like the katakana character to, which is to, which is what this is. And as you can see, maybe, the symbols are very, very similar. So, I mean, like, seriously, it looks practically just like it. So yeah, that's how I remember it, is it looks like something I've already learned. That's really cool. Even San says you should use Anki. Okay, that's super cool. And okay, so we hadn't learned it. We hadn't learned the radical. This is stick. That is why I was telling you guys what a tree was. Because a tree is a big stick. We did learn big already. I already drew it out for you. But this is stick. It's a stick. There's nothing more to it. It's a stick. Okay, so we know that this is sun. And we know that this is gun. And we know that this is 9. And we know that this is stick. And the last one is toe with an E. Now I could have wrote the synonym for toe to be T-O. So that when I write it in, it would always find it correct. But I'm not doing that right now. Because I also know that it's T-O-E. We're going to start our reviews. Guys, you ready? So, if you remember, this one we were taught is a slide. Oh, that's another thing. With WaniKani, when you do your reviews and you get them right enough times, they go up in level so that they stop appearing as much in your reviews because clearly you've already eventually mastered them. So, Apprentice is obviously the first level up you could get. I've basically never got slide wrong in the 2 times we've seen it. So they go, hey, you're good. Okay. It automates Anki's SRS, which is something about repetitive stuff. Shuffle. That's what these reviews are. There are repetitive thing. I don't know. Mina can explain what that is. Spaced repetition study. That's right. Thank you, Mina. Okay. And this one is prison because it's like those big open prisons from Game of Thrones. And this one is ground because it is literally just a flat line, ground. This one is our tent, so it is enter because it's the opening of a tent, as you can see. This one's woman. They said, remember it because it looks like two X's and being inclusive and awesome. They said because the majority of women have two X chromosomes, so that's awesome. It's a woman. Two X's for woman. This is big because it looks like somebody holding their arms out wide. This is fins because it just looks like fins. Like there's nothing more to it. This is 7 because it looks like an upside down 7. This is a drop. I also had a problem with drop, so I put the synonym in for drip because they teach you the drop like a drop of water, okay? And even they draw it out like a drop of water. And so however you need to do it to remember it, that's what it is. It's a drop, okay? This is a barb because it's a hook. It's a barb. And then we got this one, which is person. And that picture that they drew is gonna haunt me for the rest of my fucking life because I can't forget it because of my eidetic memory, and now I am haunted by that horrible, horrible picture. So, it's a person! The synonym function is handy if you remember the radical by a different name altogether. Now, I didn't learn any radicals besides through WaniKani, but Mina, like I said, has used a lot of different tools and done college classes to learn Japanese, so she has a wider breadth of experience with it. So yeah, if you use the radical names or learn the radical names as something different, you can add the synonym to it so that you can always just remember this is what that radical is. It's not a serious program. I mean, it is a serious program, but it doesn't take itself seriously. You can name them whatever you want. If I wanted to name this pile of shit, I probably could. And you know, like Mina says her last school was here's the textbook, good luck. And it's true because you were taking a lot of online courses. I remember that. Anyways, this is 2 because, well, not only is it going to be the kanji for 2, but also because it's just 2 lines, 2 grounds, 2 whatever. This is our mouth. This is strength or power. Remember I said I couldn't remember it as power, so I would put down strength because it's a guy flexing his muscles like it was about this big, you know. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or He-Man, actually. He-Man, because he had the power. Although he was usually lifting his sword. Hammer? Sword. He-Man uses sword when he was saying that. Sorry, I haven't seen He-Man since probably I was 6 years old, and that was a long time ago. This is a lid. As you can see, it's got a little tip where you... Thank you, Mina. It was a sword. Okay, I got that right. So as you can see, it has a little handle to hold so you don't burn yourself. It's a lid. Yay! And I'm done. That's literally it. That's all we're doing today. So that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for learning Japanese with me. I feel this run through tonight went way better than last time, especially since I kind of know what I'm doing now and I can manage to teach a little better. So, yeah. Yay! uh, you know what? I should get a round of applause sound bite so that I can just be like, yay! And then shoot confetti out. That'd be cool. I want to press a button and have confetti just. uh, yeah, kinda. I think that's what is on the agenda. Yep, Neko, and then we move on to grammar. I'm pretty sure for radicals we are stuck in this for like the first 7 days, right about a week. Um, I could on my own time zoom through it, but I kinda want. Thank you. Thank you, Benzerka. Uh, I mean, I also look good, so, it's okay. I look good while learning Japanese. So, um, but yeah, thanks for joining the stream. I'm wrapping it up, unfortunately, but I'm having a good time learning, and I've got a lot of people in here who know a bit more than I do, so they're helping me through it. So thanks for tuning in. Um, Yeah, as I was saying, Deco, I didn't want to. Yeah, unfortunately, they're pretty short streams. Ah, thank you for the follow. I will be running these 4 times a week, so maybe you'll get to tune in for the next one. And also, if you miss any of these, if you are interested in watching them, I don't know if that's the case, but if you are interested in watching them, I do have a VOD channel over on YouTube where I upload all of my learning practice things and, of course, other videos, but still. So, thanks for stopping by, though. Um, yeah, I'm wrapping it up tonight. We just finished our lessons on WaniKani and we're using MaruMori. And really, we literally just started all this stuff, so it's very beginner. And this is only my second learning stream, so we're like very beginner. It's really cool though. And thanks everyone for coming out. And I'm gonna be playing more Falling for Yule Guys. Yao guys, there we go. Tomorrow, if you take a look at my schedule, it's already posted on there, and the time zone gets translated into your time zone, so you don't have to do any weird math to find out when I'm going to be there. And I'll talk to you guys later. Rock it, okay? Be awesome.